Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to tell you guys the best Shopify setup to have on Eve, which is the setup that will give you your best shot at copying on a hype release. Now, some of you watching might be a little new and wondering how to know what time shoes are releasing, what site, or if they can get an early link. Inferno Labs has all that stuff to help you resell with hype releases, low-key flip stocks. Link to join is in the description, and I 100% recommend it. Anyways, let's talk about the setup. So, Shopify can be a bit complex, so let's get into it. Make a task, Shopify. So let's just pick a site that usually drop. They usually drop type releases. Pretty much the main site is Kith. Profile. I'll just do test. I'll talk about Proxies in a second. Not in a second. In a few minutes. But you don't need to check out Proxy list. You don't need that. Anyways, okay. So for link, on Kith, if you want your best shot at copying, you're gonna need an early link. Inferno Labs has that, but keywords might work. They're definitely not going to be as fast as a link, and I would say a link is a must in order to comp on Kith. If you don't have a link, then I would try to get the product and then mass link change as quick as you can. But anyways, credit card, login, you don't need it on Kith, but if you do, for some reason you want to log in, it's just pretty simple. Type your username and password. So modes. So this is where it gets a little confusing. You have 4 modes here: API, human preload, and manual. I'll tell you about that right now. So API mode is for sites with 0 bot protection. So if there's no queue, no captcha, nothing, API should work, and it's supposed to be the fastest out of all the other modes. So that's why you would do it if there's no bot protection. Obviously, if there is bot protection, the task won't work at all. So that's the risk, and you'll have, I guess, a wasted task. Most sites that are dropping do have bot protection, so on sites like Kith and Undefeated, it'd be useless to run an API mode task. But if in previous drops you're going for a site that is known for having no protection, then it's smart to have maybe 1 or 2 API mode tasks running. Or if you know for a fact there's going to be no bot protection, then API you should have some tasks running. Now human mode is like API mode, but it works on bot protected sites. So you can run it on pretty much any site, but obviously it's slower than API mode, but it'll just work on bot protected sites, which are most sites. So it's a good mode to run. Then there's human preload. So this is probably the mode that you should mostly be using. Its purpose is to basically pass queue before the drop, when you start the task before the drop. So then when the item actually drops, it basically doesn't have to go through queue. But it doesn't really work like this. The task does go through queue before the drop, but when the site drops whatever they're releasing, they drop their bot protection with the item. So you basically have to go through queue again, and it kind of defeats the purpose, but it still might be a little faster, and it's the best mode you can run, and it's the mode to hit Kith with. So this is the main mode you should be running on Kith. It's the best mode to run. I know that sounds confusing, but overall on sites with a checkpoint captcha, which is, if you don't know, is the captcha you saw before, going to checkout, you want to use human preload. It's the best mode to run, and it's your best shot at hitting on Kith. So don't worry, I'll explain later when to start it, and how you should start them, and how you should run the task later. Yeah. So and don't worry, I'll explain when you should start the tasks and how to run preload and how you should have your tasks running with the captcha too later. So let's get to the last mode, which is manual. I'm not going to go really too into this. It's kind of a useless mode, but maybe you'll find used to it. Pretty rare to use, but basically it's a normal human task, but it doesn't finish the checkout for you. Instead, it sends a checkout link, a Shopify checkout link, via Discord or Slack or whatever you want to use. That basically click on the link and then it brings you to checkout. So it just doesn't finish the checkout. You have to do it yourself, and it sends you a link. So maybe you'll find a scenario where this might work if just checkout is not working for any bot. So that might be a scenario where it works. But you just click manual, and I think in notifications you have a link on the bottom, and you'll just put your Discord webhook link, and I'll send you the checkout link. And I even have a video on that on my channel if you still want to do that. Okay, for multi-cart, if you want to multi-cart a task, just make a task already, and you'll select it right here, so that'll multi-cart. But that's not the move for hitting Kith. Quantity, I mean, they allow one checkout per customer, so just leave it blank. All this you can leave blank. If you have a discount code, go all out. General, so sizing, how sizing works is, if you don't want random sizing, you care about the size, let's say you want a size 10 on shoes. If you want to say, well, maybe I want a size 10, I don't care what size I get, as long as it's between 10, 11, and 12. So that's how you do it. You put a hashtag between each number, and that's how you pick between multiple sizes. And it's the same for small and medium, and that's how you do it. And if you can do this random if not available, so if these aren't available, I'll pick the random one. For now, I'll just do random. For delays and proxies, I like to just be the most simple and go local without proxies. I have like 2 to 3 tasks per site, but if you want to have more tasks, go ahead. I wouldn't have more than 5, because then you're at risk to getting banned, and then your whole chance of copying is ruined. So, because you might get IP banned. So if you want to have more tasks than, I guess, 5, then you're gonna need some proxies, and not a lot of proxies work on sites with heavy bot protection like Kith. They're pretty hard to find, and they're I guess expensive. So you're gonna want to make sure the ones you find work well on them if you're gonna buy. And for delays, I'll get into it more when I start running the tasks, but keeping it at 1,000 is fine. Price check, is basically what the cost of what you're going for is. It's safe to have it on. I never use it because I usually am safe with what I'm running, but let's say the item costs 160, you can have this range, or it's just to make sure whatever item you're buying is in the price range you have here, so you don't end up buying the wrong item. It's a smart thing to use if you're new, just to make sure you don't buy the wrong thing. For advanced, you don't need any of this, unless you're using third-party capture solvers. I'm not going to get much into that, but for your best chance at hitting Kith, I would not use this. And let's make sure everything's good. Alright, I'm just going to save the task, and it's right here. For profiles, I have a video on jigging profiles if you need, so you can check that out on my channel. Link is in the description, because you usually have one checkout per profile on a single site. Kith only allows you one checkout per profile, or else they'll cancel you, most likely. For CAPTCHA, I'd open and log into Google on 3 solvers. So how you do that is you go click the solver, click Google, and log in. I'm already logged in all these. Then if you want to make your CAPTCHAs better, I would watch YouTube on them to generate activity. That's how you get quicker CAPTCHAs. But for now in Kith, they use CAPTCHAs where it doesn't exactly matter on your Google how good your account is and how old your account is or how active it is. It's usually just a normal CAPTCHA, and then you answer a question maybe. So they've switched to that kind of CAPTCHA. I forget the name. Sorry. But so you have 3 solvers, and how I like to have it set up is I'll go like this. I guess. I go like this. So one of my solvers is checkpoint dedicated. I would actually have 2 checkpoint dedicated. So you have 2 CAPTCHAs right here, and maybe if you have more monitors, I guess you can have it on another monitor, but you have these ones for checkpoints. So let's say you have, 5 tasks running, you run them all. You could have more checkpoint dedicated if you want. I like to keep it simple with 2. Doesn't really make a huge difference. You just run the task. The checkpoints are going to come up here because you checkpoint dedicated. So the checkpoints are going to come here. You solve them, and maybe while you're solving the second one, this one gets into checkout. So you're like, oh, I know this one is for checkout. I'm going to solve this as quick as possible because it's my best shot at checking out. So I'm going to stop solving maybe I'm in the middle of solving my checkpoint captures. I'm going to go straight to my checkout and solve this as quick as possible because it's all about to check out. So you want to let that happen and stop whatever you're doing to solve this. So that's why it's smart to have this, so you know when it's at checkout, so you can stop if you're solving checkpoints to just do it. So now we have a task here. If it's human preload, I think, what is it? Human preload. I'll change to that. You should have it at least 5 minutes before the drop with a delay of 10,000. I'll explain. Basically, you have to let it get through queue, but sometimes a lot of people are doing this, so queue can last a long time. Sometimes a lot of people are doing this, so the queue can last a long time. So you don't want to take the risk and the drop happens and you're still in queue. So just have it start at 5 minutes before, 10,000 delay, have it running, and then let's say 15 seconds before the drop, change it to 1,000, or you can, maybe if you want to be safer, have it a little higher. Some people think it might get banned if they drop their delays too early, or they drop the delays too low. So what's fine for me that it works is just dropping it to really 1,500 to 2,500. I feel like is the safest thing to do. So that's what I like to have. If there's a password page before the drop, sometimes they do this. You should just run a normal human mode task, because preload would have absolutely no purpose. And you can have that at the same delay. So let's just have that here. We have human preload. Let's let me run it. Preloading. So it just preloaded. Waiting queue. Waiting queue. Checking out. Submitting shipping. That sound is there. Submitting order. Checkout unsuccessful. So let's say they had bot protection on. Then the capture would go here. I'd solve it. I'd just wait. Maybe if I had more tasks, I'd be still solving. And then when it goes to checkout, I solve there, and hopefully checks out. Now, the most important thing to hitting on Kith is solving the checkpoint captcha as soon as possible. If the task instantly picks up and you solve the checkpoint just instantly and quick, you can't get a better shot than that. The quicker you solve your captcha, the better shot you have at capping. The quicker you solve your captcha, the better shot you have at copying. It's that simple. Eve is not a huge Shopify hitter, but who knows? I really don't run Shopify that often anymore, but last year on a Sakai release, I was the only person to hit a pair on a high pair on DSM. So you can be the only person. Eve is trying to step up their Shopify game. There can always be an only person, and it could be you, and you could just always try to hit on a release, and who knows, one time you could do it. Or Eve might be getting better at Shopify, who knows what happens. Anyways, that's the setup. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or I recommend joining the Discord I'm in for the best help and information. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to please like and subscribe, and goodbye.